I hope you all can see my screen.
Yeah, Venkat garu ఇది session record చేస్తారా?
I am recording it for today, and you ask me the questions at the end of the session, so that it will be, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, this is the agenda that I've got for you. That I'll be talking about myself. What am I? What are my qualifications or experience? What certifications do I have and all? And from there, we just see the demand and opportunities in the cloud area. And I'll try to explain you the cloud computing. Maybe with that you can understand what kind of explanation do I normally do, what kind of definitions or how my teaching style would be. That is just to give you an idea. From there I'll talk about learning path to the cloud, meaning uh, where should we start, how should we go. Cloud, is that something that we straight away can go and learn, or is there any prerequisites as such? And then I will just introduce you AWS, what exactly it is, and then I'll explain you the certification path, what certifications, different certifications available, and probably what certification you can target. We will just go over, talk about the course outline. Then I'll talk about the highlights of my training, and finally the Q&A. So before I just proceed with this particular course outline that I got, probably you may can talk, a minute or two, your experience, so that it will be better for me, to give the right examples when I talk about something. So I know, I mean, Bhaskar, and Sridhar talked to me long back. I believe you are from a database background, if I am not wrong.
Rakesh and Nikhil also is from database background.
Yeah, I think only Jeevan is from different, and not from, he's not from DBA background, but he's from purely security side. Shiva and
Jeevan Shiva and Jeevan from what background?
I am from data warehouse background, like ETL and reporting.
Shiva, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Jeevan? Jeevan, what kind of experience are you from? What kind of background?
I think he's talking on mute.
Okay. And Sridhar?
Oh, sorry, I actually dialed in from my mobile, so I thought you'll be able to hear me there. Anyways, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay. So firstly, myself, I am actually Venkat Kurela. I have some 9.6 years of IT experience, that is into the data center virtualization, cloud computing, that is different cloud solutions in fact. So these are the certifications that I hold at this point of time, starting from the process, that is ITIL V3 Foundation. Then I'm into networking, then I'm into storage, I am into the enterprise class server hardware solution. Those are actually into different form factors, that is the tower server, rack mountable server, blade servers, hyper converged servers. So I mean almost all kinds of server hardware solution. From then I've done my basic certification in Windows operating system, that is MCITP. In fact, I'm still kind of learning, or I'm at my comfort level, but still learning day by day on Linux operating system. And when I jump onto the virtualization space, I'm a core virtualization engineer. That too a VMware virtualization engineer, I would say. So I have my certifications right from the vSphere 4 to until vSphere 6. And I have got my advanced level certification in VMware as well, that is DCA, VCAP DCA 5. And then I have my NSX network virtualization in VMware, that is NSX 6.0. Of course, I've got my VMware cloud certification in the year of 2012. And I've got my AWS solution octet certification as well. Right, this is my professional certification credentials that I have got, and like I said, it is 9.6 years. And when it comes to training, it's been 5.5 years or 6 years that I have been training people on different technologies. I used to go the classroom trainings, and I used to give the corporate trainings as well, but nowadays it is just like online trainings. Mostly I'm talking about these technologies on a global platform, wherein people joining me from different countries, especially in the evening timing of India hours. I at least have 10 to 15 participants in a class, and that's like uh, the, the great participation I see every day. But especially in the morning hours, I only take classes to the years people like you, because this time slot is like very demanding, and everybody looks for this. Okay, so this is something about me and my trainings. I have my own style of introducing the topics, I would say. I mean, I at least I say myself confidently that I'm at a confident level, talking on a product, talking on a technology, and delivering the same content to the students in an understandable way. So probably I understand you got your own requirements in terms of the training and explanation. I would request all of you to go through the module that I'm going to cover to you today, so that referring to that, you can certainly put many questions to me, asking, maybe Venkat, you can change this, you can change this, or we want you to go talk maybe less number of words per minute, because I normally go little higher side. I speak little fast. So certainly you can give your feedback, and then we will work together, go forward. This is about me, and how can we proceed from here. And then as I'm talking about the demand in the cloud area, well, the industry is actually running out of the skill set, because we all focus on a particular area of it. If somebody says, hey, the database is doing good, then everybody is after the database. If somebody says operating system is doing good, everybody is after after operating system. And somebody else come and say, hey, virtualization is doing good, of course the entire people or the density is after the virtualization. So there is no such thing in the industry or in the government sector that give a proper direction to the graduates or the postgraduates, which will help us to shape our career in a particular domain. So that will not cause us a lot of unemployment. One side, the other side, companies are actually looking for the right skill set, right combination of the skill set, right? So this is not something that I put myself, but yeah, if you actually see here, uh, there's this 36% in an enterprise class. This is an enterprise class company. This is a small scale, and of course in the left hand side, this is a national domestic level, or like medium scale companies. So most of these companies are saying, and most percentage of it, you see here 63, 60 and 36%. They say cloud computing is something that they don't know, meaning their employees do not know. And if companies wanted to implement cloud computing, I mean, and employees say we don't know, they have to hire people from outside. So it is the same case everywhere, that 60% of them says we don't know, and another 20-25% people say they have misperception about the product. I mean, most of them do not have the proper understanding about the cloud computing today, because you go to application space, they say, sir, we are on cloud. You go to database, they say we are on cloud. You go to infrastructure, they say we are on cloud. You go to a website hosting, they say we are on cloud. What exactly the cloud means? That's really the question is, and people do not have a maturity level to understand what exactly it is, a real definition to the cloud, right? So that's where we are actually lacking at. If I mean, these are not the numbers that I put myself, but these are the numbers taken out from the survey, that on an average in India, if you see 2 to 3 years of experience guy in the cloud space, their profile is actually at a 7 lakhs per annum demand. If I see the same in US or in the global market, if you have some good experience, because 2 to 3 years or anything less than 5-6 years in US market is not actually considered. So if you have some 7 years, 8 years, that's when I saw people, I mean, their profiles are in much demand with at least 1 lakh US dollars per year. An average or below average pay is what I'm talking here. Okay, so from there, if I actually move on, out of all the public cloud hosting companies, AWS is actually 57% adaptation ratio, if you see. That's the same in 2015. Same was continued in 2016. Well, it would go, I believe it would definitely grow further in the year of 2017. So though we have the cloud hosting companies in the market, that is like mainly IBM or Azure. Of course, VMware is into product manufacturing; they are not into the services. So though we have these guys into the market, AWS is pretty much taking the most percentage of the market value, because why, what, for what reason AWS is taking this percentage of the market? Because they thought of this cloud hosting in the year of 2002. From there they started developing product, and in the year of 2006 when they've launched their actual cloud services to the users, and from then it is almost like 11 years. By now we kind of understand, by now we kind of got awareness that there is something else, something called cloud computing, and AWS is doing good in that space. Well, they have got at least 10 sorry, they have at least got 15, 16 years of groundwork put in there, and finally we are using them. While the others, well, their vision and their strategy was not strong enough to beat the market. Maybe in this year or in the next couple of years, they may have to put their development teams very, maybe next down the line, next 2-3 years is what I feel. Okay, so that's the reason Microsoft Azure or anybody in the market is not able to take that share of the cloud hosting away from the AWS. One second, guys. Okay, so that's about the cloud adaptation ratio when I have to compare the vendors that we have in the market today. From there, I'll try to explain you what exactly the cloud computing here is, right? Because this is very important for you going forward, as we could get to hear to different people, those who are into different domains of the IT infrastructure, and they may have their own understanding about the cloud. But in general, if I have to tell you what exactly the cloud computing is, so this is what the cloud computing is. Cloud computing is delivery of IT resources via the internet. Okay, so so the definition is very generalized, right? It is not specific to anything. It just says delivery of IT resources over the internet. Well, Venkat, I mean, I heard something else. You just try to put very plain definition. I mean, is that all it is? Can it be something else? Well, of course it can be something else. It can be this. Okay, cloud computing is uh, cloud computing is on-demand delivery of IT resources via the internet. Okay, so what is that got added here? On demand. So there are 6 characteristics of a cloud computing that every cloud provider must have. Those are like must-have features. If they didn't, if a cloud providing company do not have those characteristics, meaning that is not a cloud hosting company, or that cannot be a public cloud hosting company. So on-demand is one of the characteristics that everybody should have. Okay, cloud is on demand. You really don't have to put your capital expense in there, uh, right? What I mean by capital expense is like buying a car is an initial investment. It's a capital expense, and from there maintaining it is an operating cost. So for somebody to go onto the cloud, it is like the renting a car. Okay, you don't have to buy a car, but you still can use it for a day or two, or whatever the period you wanted to, and you can just pay for it. You can pay the rented price, right? So that certainly will save you from putting a lot of capital investment. Let's say if your usage is for 2 days or 3 days, it doesn't make any sense buying a car, putting a lot of investment. Similarly, if you just need a server or any service, IT service, for a week or two, for a month at max, it really doesn't make sense hosting the entire data center. I mean, building the entire data center, hiring the IT team for just 1 month of project. But now with the introduction of actual public cloud services and on-demand delivery of IT resources via the internet, that really kind of expedited, I mean accelerated. Even nowadays, small companies, medium scale companies are able to do a lot of projects, and that bring a lot of healthy competition in the IT, so that the prices, the development or support, whatever the IT capability that you are looking at, the prices have come down drastically. Okay, so well, Venkat, is that all, or can it be something else? Well, it can be something as something else. So that is, cloud computing is on-demand delivery of IT resources via the internet with pay as you go. Like I said, it is on demand, of course, and it is pay as you go. You only pay for what you use. You don't have to give the upfront commitment that, hey, Venkat, I am going to use it for a year, or I am going to use it for a 2 years. No, even if you wanted to use it for a day, for example, RDS databases. Okay, if I wanted to use a SQL, Microsoft SQL Server for a day, I should be able to get it on the cloud. I should not be committing them. Hey, I'll get me a SQL Server ready, I'll use it for a month. Get me a SQL Server or a Oracle Server ready, database server, I'll use it for 2 months. uh, you don't have to give such kind of upfront commitment. You use it for an hour or 2 hours, 10 hours, a day, 2 days, but they still have to provide you with the cloud based services, whatever it is. Well, you may ask me a question, Venkat. Still the definition looks generic. It is not specific. Well, on-demand delivery of IT resources. When I say IT resources, this single word can be elaborated like to very detail. Okay, so like a piece of storage, like the Google Drive that we are leveraging, right? So that resource can be a piece of storage. That resource can be a single server. That resource can be a hosting space where you can host a website or group of websites. Or that IT resource can be a database service, or it can be the capability to host the entire data center in the cloud, right? So any single piece of information technology that can be delivered over the internet to the people, on demand pay as you go pricing model is called the cloud computing, guys. Is called the cloud computing. If tomorrow somebody comes and say, hey, Salesforce is a cloud hosting solution, but what you're learning is not, AWS is not. Well, you can certainly reply them, or even for your understanding, well, Salesforce is a cloud hosting solution, or Salesforce is a cloud application, but it is an application, guys. What is a Salesforce application does? It is a CRM application, right? It helps you store some data in there, and it gives you uh, a well organized view of the data, and with that you can actually see different reports of it, or you can actually see, you can maintain well customer relationship in all that. Well, that is a particular application that is available over the internet. You really don't have to stood a database up for that, stood an application up for that, install it on your database, I mean on premises in your environment, do it yourself. Instead, you just can take the Salesforce application from the Oracle database straight away. That way you can reduce the administrative efforts, and they claim that it is the industry best CRM application that they have got. So you can certainly reduce on the administration efforts and the data center cost, and you can access it over the Oracle cloud environment is what they say. And similarly, you can have many other applications, many other data center solutions, many other storage, many other offerings from different parts of the IT, but it is still called as it is still called as the cloud computing. Okay, well, I'll try to give you more detailed explanation about different delivery models, or uh, different methods of delivering it, or different ways of hosting it, and all that when we go to the cloud computing basics. But for today, I just wanted to give you an idea of cloud computing, maybe my style of introducing a topic to you, right? So this is about cloud computing, and there are three delivery models: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, uh, and software as a service. Guys, Jeevan put a question. Can anybody hear him? Guys, can somebody answer him?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Seems, Jeevan, it is a problem at your side. I saw there was a quick disconnection and reconnection at your PC. Yeah, probably you're good now. Yep, thanks. So we have got the delivery models, that is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. That's where I was actually talking about. If you are just using the runtime environment, wherein let's say you are a Java developer, all you need is a development environment. You are least bothered about the underlying storage, underlying network, underlying server infrastructure, of course the operating system. All you need is a development space, some space where you can go, you can write your code, compile it, and look back the errors and all. So that's where you straight away can go there and take the platform as a service. You really don't have to rent a server and take care of the operating system, and no, you don't have to deal with that. Whereas the software as a service is giving you, direct access to the software. You don't have to buy a server, don't have to develop the code to build that application, but there is a software that is readily available for you. You just go there, make use of it. Similarly, infrastructure as a service, okay, wherein you can uh, rent the entire infrastructure as a service. So there are a couple of other services as well, like the storage as a service, and and couple of other ways or the methods of delivering the cloud services to you. So when the categorization is that broad, you see the Salesforce application that you're talking about, or any of these will definitely fall into the some space. But the Amazon or AWS solution architect, system operations administrator is something that falls into the infrastructure as a service delivery model. Okay, so that's where we are going to learn the entire infrastructure solutions over here. From there, these are the top three providers at this point of time in the market today. But we also have Google, we have got IBM, we have got Oracle. So there are many other guys in the cloud hosting or the cloud providers. But at this point of time, Amazon, Microsoft, and VMware is into it. And then part of the reinvent program that every year AWS does. This year they have announced partnering with VMware. Okay, so they've, and in the upcoming quarter, maybe upcoming months, we will see great features with great integration coming out to the industry in the cloud space especially. That's where Amazon is actually making their roadmap very strong and keeping themselves ahead of any other competitor in the industry. That's where they are actually partnering with VMware, because VMware, of course, they are very good at data center virtualization and the cloud products, right? I'm being very specific to my words, guys. Be aware of it. So they are into the product development, and Amazon into the services. So what VMware does is they have some products that like vSphere or vCloud Operations Manager and all that. So they give those products to the customers. The customer can be Microsoft, can be Amazon, can be Red Hat, can be anybody in the industry. So they can definitely leverage those products in order to build their cloud hosting space. Okay, now Amazon does the same. Okay, they used VMware product, and they are giving services to the people. That's where they are ahead of anybody else. But what Microsoft is doing, they are developing their own products. That's where it is taking time for them. Okay, well, from there, moving on, if I have to introduce you the AWS concept, or what exactly the AWS, this is it. AWS provides on-demand delivery of IT resources via the internet. Well, I believe you can correlate the same definition that we saw some slides back, basics of the cloud computing or introduction to cloud computing. It is the same thing, right? Well, of course it is, because AWS, Azure, whoever it is, it's the same thing that they are doing. They are providing IT services over the internet on demand, pay as you go. This IT service can be a compute power, it can be storage, it can be database, content delivery, mobile application development, Internet of Things, big data, whatnot. They've got some 1,000+ services in the cloud, right? So AWS provides on-demand delivery of IT resources via the internet on a secure cloud platform. Well, of course, you can while you are making some chicken or mutton, you can definitely add many ingredients to make your own recipe. So the definition is also something like that. But of course, every cloud platform is secure. So that's where you see, uh, via the internet on a secure cloud platform, on demand, pay as you go, right? All these are the characteristics of the cloud computing. So those things will definitely get add to the definition, but you still can stick to the definition that you learn part of the cloud computing basics. And today, Amazon actually provides a highly reliable, scalable, low-cost infrastructure platform in the cloud that is actually serving 190 countries in the world today at this point of time. Okay, so how is it reliable, scalable, low cost? Well, if you actually get to know the global footprint of their data centers, the availability zones, regions, and the edge locations that they have got, you really surprised to see it. And they have got strong roadmap to introduce more and more data centers in different countries of the world, right? So as you all into the data center, if you have to bring the high availability to a SQL database, what would you do? You go with the clustering of the database, right? A Microsoft clustering. It is like the high availability. It is available on one node at a time. If the node fails, the services will fail over onto the other one. You still have some negligible downtime, maybe some 5 minutes while the resources are moving on to the other node. Well, if you need, but you have a limitation over there. The servers need to be on the same subnet, need to be on the same data center. If you have the database on two different locations, in good old days, what would you do? You do a log shipping. You replicate the logs of the database, and manually you will bring back the other server in another site up in case if your primary server is down. And in the recent past, we have got always on clusters so that you can build the clustering even in two different geographical locations. Similarly, that's fine. So Microsoft has given you with that such kind of of offers. But if you have to leverage always on or the log shipping, any application specific high availability features, you have to pay a lot, right? It is a different licensing. Maybe you have to go for the enterprise class license. But how about any other application? For example, in my case, I am using the open source database, maybe a MongoDB or a MySQL or any other database. What do I do in that situation? Okay, if I have one database server, two database servers, okay, I'll still try to find something at a database level. Maybe I can write some queries, SQL queries or SQL statements. Those will replicate my database to a different location. But what if my environment is like some dozens of databases? And that would definitely add up a lot of administrative overhead. What if I have an application that do not have a native replication and high availability solution? What would I do in that situation then? What would I do if I have got an application server which do not have a native replication or a high availability functionality built in by the vendor? Well, that's where AWS is giving you a highly reliable or scalable environment, meaning uh, every single location that they build the data center, they at least build two data centers. So that way, the second data center that they are building in the same location will act as a near DR. So they have got their own technology, their own technology to replicate the data center, to the near DR place. Okay, so that way it is very reliable. You don't have to worry about your data center. You don't have to build the high availability for your services. Don't worry about it. Okay, and you know how much it costs us for us to build a data center. And if you're talking about building another data center for the purpose of high availability or maybe to tolerate to the disasters, well, if you are thinking about building a data center altogether in a different country, in a different geographical location, well, it's costly affair. Amazon has got data centers in 16 different countries in the world, and they have a roadmap to build data centers in 4 more countries in this year. Okay, so you can choose your application to get replicate to all 16 data centers if you need such kind of availability. Choice is with you, right? Well, I mean, we go into the details. I'm just trying to give you a high level understanding. And since the introduction of AWS, they have released one new services and features. Okay, that is 1100 new services and features. And they've introduced 40 major services in the recent past. and they have announced 48 price reductions. I mean, every time there is a price change, price revision, that is always reduction, but was never spiked, was never went up. So that can definitely kind of a promising to the customers. In 48 instances, it was never went high, but it always come down. So you can definitely leverage cloud, even to think about the future. Let's say you are considering AWS cloud today to move on. When you consider today's price, and of course Amazon may increase the prices, there is an option. But looking at the history, in 48 times in the past 10 years, they have just reduced the price, but they've never increased the price. Okay, and then they've got 1 million active customers across 190 countries. That is into different categories. They've got they've got government agents, they've got educational institutes, they've got non-profit organizations, they've got the public limited, private limited, small scale, medium scale, multinational, right? All kind of customers. And their data center, like I said, is spread across 16 regions, that is in 16 physical locations of the world, 42 availability zones, 54 edge locations. I mean, you may not understand what all these numbers are, but this is all to talk about the number of physical locations that the data center is hosted in. But as we progress further in the class, I'll try to explain you what exactly are the numbers talking about, and how those numbers make sense to your adaptation. Well, this is how it looks like. I mean, they have got solutions like I said, the 1,000+ solutions that are into different categories: storage, networking, identity and access management, compute, database. Right? You can see here at the infrastructure level, they have got regions, availability zones, and point of presence, which is like the edge locations. On top of which their services are built. The compute service, storage, content delivery, database, networking. And on top of them, they have got identity and access management or control, access control, usage and auditing, the key store, which is like the encryption management, monitoring and the logging of your environment. And of course, at a platform level, they have got variety of services. Right from the Hadoop, which is a big data solution, from a data warehousing to a small application, maybe a log monitoring and the log auditing, right? So they have got solutions, even including the virtual desktops or the collaboration and SharePoint. It is alternative to a SharePoint, collaboration and sharing of the content. Okay, so they have got solutions in every single part of the IT that we see. But this is just to give you an idea how does their services looks like. But yeah, we will definitely deep dive into all these areas, and I'll try to explain you in the upcoming sessions. From there, this is what the certification path that they have. As you see on the screen, that they have certification into two different areas. One is into the development, the other is into the administration. So administration, I would say, let me do this. Yeah. So development is something that is not part of, I mean, I'm not a developer, and I'm definitely not going to talk about the development of it. Well, I'm into the solution architect and system operations, in general into IT, and of course into the cloud as well. So I'll help you understand the solution architect and system operations, that is at the associate level. Training. I mean, the training that I have is targeting this, and I also have a professional training that is into the AWS certified solution architect. This is definitely at a different level, and it is at a different cost. To start with, of course, anybody, no matter what their background is, they have to take the baby steps towards a new technology. If I have to learn the database concept, I have to take baby steps. I certainly cannot go ahead and sit at a big data level, right? So the same thing follows here. Of course, your end goal may be to go to the professional level, wanted to be a full-fledged solution architect, so that you should be able to design a solution on your own and implement it. Yes, you are right, but you still have to take the baby steps. You have to start very basic, maybe understanding about the infrastructure components and what components contribute to it. How actually, if you ask me, I'm a data center virtualization guy, the core. but that is not sufficient to be a cloud admin. There are other components contributing to it. I should be equally good at them as well. For example, the database in AWS, solution architect covers the database also as a service. I should be good at the database as well. So I have my comfort levels with the database. I know what exactly the database and use case of it, and what different, how can I categorize them, like the SQL, NoSQL, and how can I further categorize them like online transaction processing, online analytics, right? Which is like the read database to generate the reports, which the other is like the hot database, which always does the read write access or read write operations to the database, right? So I have my own style of reading it, and I can definitely present it even to you, at a ground level, so definitely it needs all those areas. So now at this point of time, you people are good at, some good at identity and access management, some good at the database, but you need to you need to be good or at a comfort level with the other components that are contributing to the data center virtualization and that are contributing to the cloud computing, and then you can certainly start with the cloud. So I mean, yeah, to the point again, like I said, AWS solution architect and system operations admin are the two associate level trainings that one has to go through, and you certainly cannot go to the professional directly, but you must be associate level certified first. Okay, now now uh, in general, if you go outside, the solution architect is available as a separate learning. System operations admin is available as a separate learning altogether. Okay, but in our classes, what I do is I do it as a single module. I merge them together. Because if you actually look at the blueprint of solution architect associate and blueprint of AWS certified system operations blueprint, I'm talking about the blueprint, guys. I'm not talking about a document that I prepare, but I am talking about the blueprint that is given by the AWS themselves. So you can see the topics are same, but the direction of the discussion is something different. For system operations, they say you need to be good at the regular operations, the maintenance. Okay, being a system admin, every day when you get to the work in the morning, you should be able to take care of the system operations. That is like, if there is an alert, you should be able to remediate it. If there is a request to extend the disk, you should be able to do it. If there is a request to increase the resources, you should be able to do it. If there is a request to take the backup of a server, yes, you should be supporting it. So that is more about the operations, how you perform the regular operations in the cloud environment, the system operations. Wherein solution architect is understanding the concepts or the components of the cloud into detail, and with that you should be able to understand the client requirement and give a solution to them. Getting me? So that's what it. So our training is focusing both the associate level trainings, and I can promise you that I can give you the best in the class knowledge and experience, or the practical demonstrations in the classes in these two areas. And once you are comfortable at these two trainings and certification, probably if you are interested in my training and you feel like, yes, here's something good in teaching, we can definitely go ahead with the professional training, and of course from there we can move forward if at all you are interested in Azure and all that stuff. Okay, this is about your certifications, guys. So, and again, you don't have to take both the associate level certifications. uh, any one is sufficient. Any one is sufficient in order to go to the professional level. But if you feel like you should take both the certifications, you can. But from my standpoint, spending on both the associate level certifications is like maybe a little costly is what I feel. But still, AWS associate level certifications are 150 USD, is what they charge you. And associate level, it's all multiple choice questions. Okay, approximately 50 to 60 questions you will get in the exam. The reason I am saying approximately, because they will never say you are going to get 50 questions or 60 questions or 55. It depends. Okay, and there is no guaranteed pass percentage. I saw people who failed with 60%. I saw people who failed with 65%. Okay, there are people passed with 60%. There are people failed with 65%. So you always target 70-75% to is a pass mark. Then looking at it, you just start preparing yourself for the certification. Moving on. Well, Venkat, you all talk very nice things about the cloud. Now we understand what exactly the cloud computing and what exactly the AWS is, and what kind of services are they offering. Can you help us understand what is the prerequisites? What is that we should know in order to start with the cloud computing? Well, I say the server hardware because for any infrastructure, we are talking about infrastructure as a service model of the delivery. So for anybody who wanted to start with the cloud, they should know the server hardware. So what I mean by server hardware, well, there are the servers are different from your personal computers or the laptops. The servers are designed with a different purpose, with a different hardware measures altogether. So you should know the server hardware and its architecture to detail. Of course, starting from the tower servers to the rack mountable servers to the blade servers. You may ask me a question, Venkat, of course in the cloud this hardware is maintained by AWS. Why should I learn? Well, you are correct, but it is always like you upscale or you enhance your career, but you never come back. So today you may start as a AWS cloud associate, okay, and tomorrow you move to professional level and you move to DevOps level and you move to a cloud uh, a cloud neutral profile, meaning you are an expert at different clouds, okay. And when you are at this level, cloud neutral, and when you sit in a customer meeting and when you have to give a solution and they ask you, hey, how will it how can it give a better performance to my application in the cloud, do you have got hyper-threading enabled, or what kind of motherboard architecture do you have got? Is that SMP or NUMA? When bang, when the guy asked you NUMA or SMP or multi-threading or hyper-threading and if you don't know what is that, it's an alarming area. It's an alarming area. It is always good, go with the basic, be strong at basic and keep add the technology. That way, tomorrow if somebody asks you, you definitely have an answer for them, a solid answer for them. And even it's not about somebody ask you, even for you to give a solution, a solid solution, you should know the ground. I mean, a strong or a solid knowledge and experience at ground level technologies. Okay, so server hardware is something that I strongly encourage you to learn and be expert at. And you should know the networking, basics of networking. uh, I bet you all know or you all good at it, but still it's my duty to tell you should know the networking, the basics of networking. uh, One second guys. Yeah, so you should know the basics of networking, meaning uh, from TCP/IP concepts to what a layer 2 networking is, what is a layer 3 networking is, what is a IP, what is a subnet, how the local packet delivery happen, meaning how a packet over the layer 2 network will be delivered and how the packet over the layer 3 is delivered, right? How a packet is delivered on the internet. For example, as I am talking here in India, that is me sitting in Hyderabad, and you are able to listen me from different parts of the globe, and how exactly it is reaching you, right? How the internet knows that you are my audience and you are my participants. So that's something you should know. A path on the internet, same path in the data center, how the packet is delivered over the layer 2 network. And from there you should know the functionality of different network equipment like the switch, router, firewall, the load balancers, because the same topics are being adopted in the cloud, because be it AWS, Azure, VMware, these guys are never a groundbreaking technology writers or making technology makers. They must have to leverage the existing technology in the IT. Okay, so they must have to leverage it. So in AWS they have a networking concept called VPC. What exactly it is? Well, it is a similar concept to your router in the data center, but router is a physical device in a data center, but VPC is a virtual thing. Okay, so when I correlate with a router, then you will better understand it, right? So that's where I say, go strong with the basics. Go strong with the basics. And from the networking, you should know the storage. When I say storage, it is not just about a NTFS file system or a FAT file system or ext3 ext4 file system. It is not just about file system. You should know it from the ground, meaning what exactly the hard disk is, different components of hard disk. How can I scale the performance of hard disk? We all know how to scale the capacity. I say 1 TB, 2 TB, 500 GB, 10 GB, 100 GB. How you scale the performance of a hard disk in terms of IOPS? Well, if somebody say, hey, 1000 IOPS is the capacity, what is that when you convert into the throughput? Is that 10 MB, 20 MB, 30 MB? So capacity versus speed, IO versus throughput. And when you convert, when you make some a group of hard disks, that is your RAID concept. How that RAID is going to transform your IO capacity and throughput? How is that going to add some overhead to your base technology, right? So that is something that you should actually know from the ground level. And of course the protocols like SAN, NAS, iSCSI, because when you go to cloud, they say EBS volume. So what is the EBS volume? It is an elastic block storage, which is similar to a block level access in your regular data center environment. If storage guy gives you a LUN, what will you do? You will access that LUN, you format the LUN with any file system that you wanted to, and you just continue using it. So for example, if you want to build the Microsoft clustering for your SQL application, would it be okay if I give you an NFS file system? No, because the clustering doesn't support your NFS file system. You need a block storage. You need a LUN, right? So obviously when you go to the cloud, they say EBS, S3, EFS, elastic file system. So those are actually taken from the ground level technology. And if you know the basics, then it is easy for you to correlate at the top level. And from there you have got the OS concept, like you should be good at Windows and Linux. And as the primary focus of cloud computing uh, is to go cost effective solution, very cheap. Everybody is focusing on the open source platform. So the Linux, if you have a strong experience in the Linux operating system, or if you have plans to go good at Linux, it's really good, and I would encourage you to be good at Linux. That's where I said I still learning Linux into deep. So and then you should know the virtualization basics, because there is no cloud that is built without virtualization. You take AWS, they must have virtualization. Without virtualization, it is impossible to build the cloud platform. Be it VMware Cloud, be it Oracle Cloud, be it Linux, that is OpenStack, any cloud that we have today, Azure, right? So everybody must have virtualization put in place. Then on top of it, you can have the cloud. And then you have got the cloud concepts, like I say, it can be any cloud. So until here, you see, until here, whatever you learn is the general, technology that you're gonna get. Okay, from here you adapt to any cloud platform that is easy for you to adapt to. Okay, for example, as AWS. So to learn AWS, if you spend some 40 hours, Azure you may not have to. Okay, because you have got the ground level technology. When you go to Azure, just the names may change, but the technology and the concept, everything is going to be the same. Well, in the interest of time, I just wanted to move on. Since that is the cloud learning path, with me, normally what I do provide is, like I said, basics, everything you need to know. That is the basics that I said I talk about now. And AWS System Operations Administrator and AWS Solution Architect is equals to a cloud AWS Solution Architect program that I have with me. Well, that being said, being knowledgeable about all services will allow you to be a well-rounded solution architect. Guys, the training program that I have is for the people who are looking for the long-lasting career in the IT. If you see the Amirpet or somebody else, I mean, I should not be commenting on them, but yeah, this is a time I should actually make a statement here. I should draw a line here. The people out here, they are ready with their kind of content. They say, sir, we will train you, but it will cost you just 15,000 rupees or 12,000 rupees. And against to contradictory to that, what do they say? They say, sir, the entire course is covered in 18 hours. The entire course is covered in 20 hours, 22 hours. Come on, buddy. This is not something, some piece of operating system that you're trying to learn, or some piece of it. It is a cloud, and it needs really a solid basics. You certainly cannot. But still, see, even I have to put a price tag there. So to bring some kind of balancing, let's say I charge something from you and I cannot train you for 6 months, right? So to get that kind of balancing, I try to put some 40, 44, 42, 43 hours of training hours here, and against to that I have a price tag over there, right? But yeah, we will go there to the price, but at this point of time, this is what I have. You can certainly adapt to the AWS cloud training, okay, or you can adapt to the basics plus AWS training. So those who come to me, maybe the freshers, what I recommend them is go with the basics as well, because if you wanted to good at, let me go there. So if you wanted to be good at the networking, right? What is that we know? We know the CCNA or CCNP. If you want to go good with the storage, you have to do the storage plus training and maybe EMC NetApp trainings. The operating system, virtualization, server hardware, each of these are like the very deep and very lengthy topics. It would take at least, each topic would take a month of time or at least 2 months of time to prepare. But your core idea is not to be a Linux certified solution architect or storage certified solution architect, network certified solution architect. Your core area is not to be a network expert, storage expert, but as you wanted to be a cloud certified or cloud architect, you should know the best or the important knowledge of all these topics. If there is a guy who is good at all these topics and can take the best interest of all those topics and can put together, that is actually contributing to the cloud knowledge and topics, that's really good. That's what I have done. Okay, I really take whatever is required in all these areas and put them together, and that is actually really very important from a cloud learning standpoint. Because see, I have to be honest with you, even the database, do you think, I mean, it is an easy task that I can go and learn the entire database in 1 week? No, because the database itself is a vast area, right? But if somebody wanted to be a big data administrator, they should go through certain fundamentals of the database. So for them, it is a different learning that you do. So that's what I wanted to mention. And with this, I wanted to go over the course content. I said the same thing, guys: server hardware, networking, storage, OS, virtualization, and the cloud computing. These are the basics that I have got, and each of these areas I would definitely go in detail and explain you. And these basics would go around 14 hours of training. Okay, so hardware plus is one class, server operating system is one class, networking is definitely 2 or 3 classes, storage is also 2 to 3 classes, virtualization and cloud computing is one class each. So that put together, definitely it will come anything between 12 to 14, 50 hours of training. From there, this is the AWS course content that I have got, the introduction to it. I'll introduce you what exactly the AWS and their global data center footprint, their history, their free tier, how can you create your free account to practice the security, the physical access, how does the data center look like, in all that. From there we get into the networking topics, like what exactly the VPC, NACL, security group, VPC peering. I mean, this is still the high level course content. I mean, if you actually check the mail that you got, there I try to give you the low level content of the course that we're going to cover here. Certainly we jump onto the compute concept, that is EC2, pricing model, AMI, EC2 deployment methods, bootstrapping, many things that we see there. Of course, the storage, the EBS, snapshots, encryption, replication, version control. With S3, how can you do the static website hosting, permissions, and all. The elastic load balancing or auto scaling are really two intelligent components in AWS. If you ask me, those are the two key features that AWS put. Really, I mean, I like them personally. And of course, DNS with AWS. If you see only these 6 topics here, there is a lot of correlation from the basics that you have learned. right? The networking is definitely contributing here. The server operating system and the hardware is contributing to EC2. Storage topics that we're going to learn, the basics are contributing here. Of course, the networking concepts are contributing here to the ELB, right? The DNS is definitely help you understand from the networking, because we're going to talk extensively about the remote packet delivery, how the packet is delivered remotely, for which the DNS is very much important. Okay, well, this is one thing. The other thing is, what is ELB? ELB is Elastic Load Balancer. It works as a load balancing feature in your cloud. If there are two instances supporting the same application, the ELB will create a virtual entry point to those two instances and will distribute the user sessions to them. So theoretically, I can talk about it hours together. You can certainly find it on the internet, many pages of theory, but you need a guy who can demonstrate you practically by giving you a right example, isn't it? That's where everybody is interested. Well, in each of the topics here, be it VPC, VPC, EC2, storage, ELB, DNS, all these areas, we go extensively into the practicals. I will kind of put a requirement. We draw a visual diagram to that, and we will definitely start deploying the components as per the visual diagram, right? That is a kind of depth that we're going to do in the practicals. From there, you've got identity and access management, wherein you need to talk about the users, groups, roles that you have got there, and how the user can log in there, how a API call can be made, how the API call can authenticate, how a user can authenticate, right? So there are different things that we can talk about there, of course, theoretically, practically. CloudWatch monitoring is such a critical thing, right? And the CloudWatch is the AWS monitoring tool with which you can monitor your database, you can monitor your load balancer, storage, networking, whatnot, everything. So we will talk about it. Okay, how can we get the alerts and all that? So I've got one more interesting topic for you, RDS, which is database service for you. So AWS offers database as a service. So a company no longer need a database. They install the operating system, they install the database for you. All you have to do is use that database name, the instance name, in order to create the ODBC connection and start using it. They will not allow you to index your database. They will not allow you to fine-tune queries. They will not allow you to to do any customization at the database level, because it is a managed service. All you have to do is take the database endpoint, put into your application. That's all, right? Create a DNS name or ODBC name, start using it. That's all. You don't have to worry about the backups. You don't have to worry about the patches, updates, blah, 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 all that. It is all taken care. That's all RDS. So again, we talk about RDS, what it is. There is an interesting topic called read replica. And I'll talk about the backups that, backup solution that is available, and many things over there. From RDS, we jump on to the backup in the cloud, especially, right? How can you leverage the backup solutions in the cloud for different services here, for your RDS, for your EC2 instances, Lambda, Elastic Beanstalk, and all. Of course, Elastic Beanstalk is another automated tool here that we're gonna see. SNS is a notification service that we see practically. SQS, SWF, CloudFormation are something that falls into the development and the DevOps profile. So we will see them conceptually, but not into practicals, because for me to show you SQS, I need to build an application that leverages the queue. Same with SWF, right? Because I am not into a developer, I cannot certainly develop that kind of application. I certainly cannot demonstrate you that, but I'll help you understand theoretically what exactly it is. And at the end of the course, we will do a live project. We will deploy a multi-tier application that is leveraging almost all features that we've learned so far in the class, right? So I mean, there is still a high-level understanding of the cloud course content that I've got. For a low-level understanding, a detailed course outline, I would request you to refer to the email that I sent to you. It has got 2 attachments again. So there is a PDF that is actually talking in detail about the course outline that I'm going to discuss in the class. Well, the highlights of my training is, I mean, of course, I have to market my profile. So highlights of my course, my training is one course that is making you ready for your job, guys. You don't have to go there, learn basics somewhere, go system operation somewhere else, go solution architect somewhere else. You don't have to do all that. I am a real techie, guys. I'm telling you. I mean, since whatever I'm doing, I do not have to hesitate, to talk. So I have extensively worked in that area, so I know what is that people are required, and I am into the interview panel as well. So I know what companies look for, and I am into the US consulting and placements as well. So I know what US market is looking for. So I am a kind of a single point of contact for you people to ask kind of any questions. From there, uh, you will be getting the industry best knowledge sharing with the real-time scenario approach. Like I said, every single topic that we're gonna do, I'll put a requirement to which we will draw a visual diagram and to which we will deploy the solution. So that will really make you ready for the real-time practicals as well. I mean, real-time, implementations. And then you will get the AWS learning resource kit, part of which, meaning you will get the student manuals, and I have searched the web extensively and I have prepared some links, the very important links, in order to you to keep up to date with the AWS knowledge, news, updates, blogs, everything. So the links will be shared to you. And like I said, after every class I'll give you some exercises. For example, if you are done with EC2, I'll give you some 3-4 exercises and I will ask you to do it. Hey, go ahead and do practice these things for yourself, and don't expect me to sit with you and make you do the practicals. But yes, I'm gonna do that. I'll give you the practical exercises, and there will be review questions, that I'm going to give you after every session. There are review questions that will be given to you. With this, you will be gaining good knowledge and experience on the product, right? So apart from that, I'll also be giving you a 400 practice questions to prepare yourself for the associate level certifications. It is a kind of dump, you can call it as. That will include 400 questions. Those are not like the outdated. Every single batch that I take, I'll try to compose at least 20% of new questions and I'll give them. Okay, and then that will make you ready for your certification as well. So you have got good knowledge, good experience with the exercises that I'm going to give you, and you have got your certification as well. And then I'll give you sample resumes so that you can prepare a unique resume yourself for marketing your profile. And what I have is like the course retake policy. uh, I had a bad experience in the past, especially in the US market. I used to give the recordings to the people. Some consultancy guy, what has he done was he misused the video content that I share. He started selling those video copies as if it is his property or his copyrighted video content. That's where I stopped sharing the recordings. In place of recording, to help students understand the topic, to help student go forward, I said course retake policy. If you are a paid customer to me, a paid student to me, you can take the course, you can retake the course any number of times in any batch. You can take it today, you can take the course again after 6 months, or you can immediately take the course in the following month that I'm going to have. And the student manuals will definitely help you, understand the topics every day after the class completion, right? Course retake policy. And you've got end-to-end support, like I said, training to job support. uh, you have to excuse me for that particular thing here. I was doing it. I mean, I'm actually not doing it nowadays because I've got a baby, and I'm not doing this, but I'll definitely help you in order to prepare for your uh, interviews and all. And well, of course, with all these things put together, it will make you a demanding profile in the cloud computing space, right? When somebody is also learning the cloud and when you are learning the cloud, these unique things that I'm putting for you with my experience will definitely make you unique profile. And then like I say, throughout the course, this journey may be a month or 5 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever it is going to be. You have to believe me. Okay, you believe me what I say, you trust my credentials, you believe me. So the reason for that, for me to put that is, if you don't believe me, you would hesitate to follow what I say. If you don't follow what I say, you cannot get to the end goal that we are actually targeting to. Okay, so believe me. And dedicate some 2 months of time. Okay, again, the 2 months is not static. It is a observation of different batches that I am doing. But dedicate some 2 months. Don't be rushed to put your profile, get a job, and all that. Be a technology expert, guys. Eventually, success will come to you. If you are good at the product, if you are good at technology wise, definitely success will come to you. You don't have to rush through. Hey, March the resume betala. You don't do that. Okay, and do whatever you believe in. You believe smart work, do it. You believe hard work, do it. But do whatever it takes in that 2 months of time. Believe me, dedicate your time and complete your practicals or whatever the exercises that I'm giving, and don't limit your practice or your knowledge gaining to the topics that I'm going to cover, but explore the internet that you have, and that will definitely make you 100% ready for the job. Okay, so this is a direction that everybody is looking at. Some people are ready to put their efforts, but they need some kind of direction, and I feel this is what best that I have in order to make you a successful profile. And from here you subscribe to all these slides, sorry, all these video channels or the podcast series or the certification blogs that I have got here, so that in that way you can keep yourself current, and you will get the updates every day. Apart from the AWS solution architect training that I do, I also have the following training modules. I've got Microsoft Azure, VMware vSphere 6.5, the latest version, VMware vSphere Cloud. The DevOps is something that I'm going to bring soon, right? I'm also going through certain self-learning, in order to make that really go strong. Right? If any one of you, apart from this, I also do the storage trainings, that is NetApp and EMC training. So if any one of your friends or you looking for the trainings, you feel free to refer my profile. And if you have any questions, yes, this is the right time to ask me. And by the way, this is the only email ID I have. This is the only mobile number that I have, both for personal and professional use. So I have any plans, I do not have any plans to change the mobile number as such. I am into industry, like I said, for the past 9.6 years. I am into the trainings at least 5.5 to 6 years. So, you know, uh, like I said, it's going to be a long-term relation. It is not like you take a training from me today, maybe this month, the next month, you're going to be a stranger and I'm going to be a stranger, no? So it's like I'm into the industry, like I said again, and I have no plans to go anywhere else. So yeah, now you can ask me any questions if you have.
Hey, Venkat, I have a question, please.
Please.
How long is the course? Is it 1 month?
So if you saw the slides in between, I said if you are just looking for AWS, it would go for 30, 34, 32 hours, which will be 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. If you are looking for the basics as well, that would go approximately 40 to 44 hours. That will be 4 to 5 weeks.
Okay, so I'm looking for the basic and the AWS, so you go with the basic first or
Yeah,
with the AWS?
basics first.
And would we get a copy of the slides or not?
Slides not, but you will get a student manuals.
Okay, I was asking because of the YouTube videos and links and all that.
Oh, that will be given to you. There will be a plain text file that I have got, which is actually of course 200 links are put together, which are useful links. So that is all shared with you.
Okay.
Any other question, guys? Come on, Bhaskar.
No, we are good.
Okay. Yeah, I was really kind of expecting too many questions because the very first day that I had a call with you, with Sridhar, it was a lengthy discussion. I thought you would have. Yeah. So I prepared myself to to have a good class with you. Well,
Probably we will have from tomorrow.